In the vast expanse of the Andromeda sector, where stars burned like eternal furnaces and nebulae swirled in cosmic dances, the Zelther dominion reigned supreme. For centuries, the Zelther, a race of towering, chitin-armored beings with iridescent exoskeletons and multiple appendages, had expanded their empire through ruthless conquest. Their emperor, Zorith the Unyielding, was a legend among his kind, a strategist without peer, a warrior who had crushed rebellions on a dozen worlds, and a ruler whose psychic abilities allowed him to probe the minds of his subjects for disloyalty. Zorith's flagship, the Eclipse, was a behemoth of a vessel orbiting the besieged planet of Terra Nova, the last stronghold of humanity in this frontier. Humanity had arrived in Andromeda only decades ago, fleeing a dying Earth through experimental warp gates. They were scrappy, resourceful, and utterly underestimated by the galaxy's elder races. The Zelther saw humans as primitives, soft-skinned, short-lived, and lacking the natural armor or psionic gifts that made other species formidable. But humans had something the Zelther could never replicate: an unyielding spirit, a knack for adaptation, and a fierce loyalty to their own. This was the essence of HFY, humanity. Fuck yeah, a mantra whispered in the resistance cells, a reminder that no matter the odds, humans punched above their weight. Arya Voss was the embodiment of that spirit. At 28, she was a veteran of the Human Federation's Shadow Ops, trained in espionage, combat, and psychological warfare. Her mission was simple in concept, suicidal in execution: infiltrate Zorith's inner circle, gain his trust, and deliver the intelligence needed to dismantle the Dominion from within. Arya had undergone genetic enhancements, subtle ones, to mimic Zelther pheromones and resist basic psychic scans. Her cover, a refugee from a conquered world, offering her services as a translator and advisor, leveraging her exotic human knowledge of lesser-known sectors. The beginning of her odyssey started on the scorched plains of Terra Nova. The planet's atmosphere was thick with smoke from orbital bombardments, and the human defenders hunkered in underground bunkers, their railguns and plasma rifles holding off wave after wave of Zelther drop pods. Arya stood in a makeshift command center, surrounded by holographic maps flickering with red enemy markers. General Harlan, a grizzled man with a cybernetic eye, briefed her one last time. Arya, Zorith's paranoia is legendary. He's executed advisors for a stray thought. You'll have one shot at this. She nodded, her dark hair tied back, her eyes, augmented with neural implants, gleaming with determination. Humans don't need second chances, General. We make the first one count. Disguised in tattered robes, she allowed herself to be captured during a skirmish. Zelther troopers, their mandibles clicking in triumph, dragged her aboard a shuttle bound for the Eclipse. The journey was a blur of interrogation chambers, where low-level officers probed her mind with crude psionic devices. Arya fed them half-truths. She was a linguist from a neutral colony, disillusioned with human stubbornness, seeking asylum in exchange for intel on Federation weaknesses. Her performance was flawless. Within days, she was presented to Zorith himself in the Emperor's opulent throne room, a cavernous hall lined with trophies from fallen worlds, crystalline skulls from the Vexery, energy cores from the Draken hives. Zorith loomed on his dais, his exoskeleton a mosaic of battle scars, his 4 eyes glowing with an otherworldly hue. His psychic aura washed over her like a tidal wave, searching for deceit. "You are intriguing, human," he rumbled, his voice a symphony of clicks and echoes translated through her implant. "Your kind fights with such futility. Why betray them?" Arya met his gaze, her heart pounding but her facade unbreakable. "Because survival demands adaptation, Emperor." Humans may be weak in body, but we see opportunities where others see defeat. Zoratha's mandibles twitched in what passed for amusement. He sensed no lie. Her enhancements masked the deeper truths. Intrigued by her boldness, he assigned her to his advisory council, a group of sycophants who trembled in his presence. Thus began the delicate dance of trust-building. The middle phase of Aria's mission unfolded over weeks that felt like eternities. Life aboard the Eclipse was a regimented hell. Patrols of armored guards, psychic sweeps at random intervals, and the constant hum of the ship's warp engines preparing for the final assault on Terra Nova. Aria immersed herself in the role, translating intercepted human communications and offering insights that seemed helpful but subtly sowed discord. At first, Zorath kept her at arm's length, testing her with minor tasks. "Decipher this Federation code," he'd command, thrusting a data slate at her. Aria would comply, altering just enough to make the intel outdated, buying time for human forces. Her quick wit earned nods of approval. "You humans have a peculiar ingenuity," Zorath admitted during one late-night strategy session. The room dimmed to mimic Zelther homeworld twilight. As days turned to cycles, Aria wove herself deeper into his confidence. She shared fabricated stories of human history, tales of underdogs rising against empires, carefully framed to flatter Zoratha's ego. "Empires fall when they underestimate the small," she'd say, her voice laced with feigned admiration. "But you, Emperor, see all." Zorath, isolated by his power, began to confide. In private audiences, he revealed fragments of his past. Orphaned in a clan war, risen through sheer will, his psychic gifts a double-edged sword that bred loneliness. "Trust is a weakness I cannot afford," he confessed one evening, as they overlooked the swirling vortex of a nearby nebula from the observation deck. Aria seized the moment. "Trust isn't weakness. It's a weapon when given wisely. Let me prove my loyalty." She offered a gift, a simulated human artifact, a holographic projector displaying Earth's ancient battles. It was laced with subliminal codes, designed to erode his psychic barriers over time. Their bond deepened. Zorath, fascinated by her resilience, humans healed slowly but fought on, invited her to spar in the combat arenas. Aria, enhanced with neural reflexes, held her own against his lesser guards, earning his respect. "You fight like a cornered beast," he praised, helping her up after a bout. "No fear of death." But fear gnawed at Aria inwardly. She witnessed atrocities, Zelther experiments on captured humans, vivisections to study their inferior biology. One night, she sneaked into the labs, transmitting data bursts to Federation relays hidden in asteroid fields. The risk was immense. A single psychic ping could expose her. Tension mounted as the invasion loomed. Zorath revealed his master plan, a psionic amplifier, a device aboard the Eclipse that would broadcast his will across Terra Nova, shattering human morale and forcing surrender. "With this, I will break their spirit," he boasted, showing her the schematics in a moment of vulnerability. "You, Aria, will stand at my side as we claim victory." Her heart raced. This was the key, the amplifier's location, vulnerabilities, activation codes. But gaining it required ultimate trust. In a calculated move, she feigned a crisis, staging an assassination attempt by a fabricated human infiltrator, a drone she controlled. She saved Zorath, taking a glancing plasma burn to her arm. The Emperor was moved. "You risked your fragile form for me," he said, his psychic tendrils gently probing her wound. For the first time, he lowered his guards entirely, sharing the amplifier's core frequency, a code only he knew. Aria's middle act culminated in intimacy of a sort. Not physical, Zelther biology forbade it, but emotional. In quiet moments, Zorth spoke of doubts, the weight of empire, the fear of betrayal. You are different, human. In you, I see an ally unbound by fear. She smiled inwardly. Humans weren't unbound by fear. They conquered it. The end approached with the fury of a supernova. As the eclipse positioned for the final bombardment, Arya executed her plan. In the dead of ship night, she accessed the amplifier chamber, using Zorth's codes. But it wasn't sabotage she planned, not yet. She needed to draw him in. Alarms blared as she triggered a false malfunction. Zorth arrived, flanked by guards, his eyes narrowing. Arya? What is this? She knelt, feigning panic. Emperor, I detected an anomaly, a human virus in the system. I tried to fix it alone to prove my worth. His psychic probe delved deep, finding no deceit in her surface thoughts. Her implants held. Relieved, he dismissed the guards. Together, we will mend it. As they worked side by side, Arya's fingers danced over the controls. With a subtle input, she inverted the amplifier's polarity, a human engineering trick, turning the device against its user. Zorth activated it, believing it secure. The psionic wave erupted, but instead of broadcasting outward, it feedback looped into his mind. He staggered, mandibles clacking in agony. What betrayal? Arya stood, dropping the facade. Humans don't break, Zorth. We bend reality to our will. His psychic scream echoed through the ship, disrupting Zelther coordination. Federation fighters, armed with the intel she'd transmitted, swarmed from hidden warp points. Railgun salvos pierced the Eclipse's shields, exploiting weaknesses she'd mapped. Zorth lunged, appendages whipping like scythes. Arya dodged, her enhancements kicking in. She grabbed a plasma rifle from a fallen guard, firing point-blank. His exoskeleton cracked, ichor spilling. You sealed my fate, he gasped, collapsing. But saved mine, she replied, transmitting the all-clear. The battle raged for hours, but with Zorth fallen, the Dominion fractured. Zelther's ships retreated, their emperor's death a psychic shockwave demoralizing the fleet. Terra Nova held. Humanity pushed back, claiming Andromeda outposts as their own. Arya returned to the surface a hero, scarred but unbroken. In debriefings, she recounted the tale, how a human woman turned an empire's strength against it. HFY, she whispered to the stars. Humanity didn't just survive, they thrived, one trust betrayed at a time.